Good evening, everybody. That's right, good evening. I'm making a video in the evening. I thought I might as well, given the nature of the day, a bit of a recap of what we saw this morning, which was, well, like I say, not exactly as expected. We did the Patreon live stream on the Sunday, and as much as I was relatively bullish on the higher term timeframes, whether that's a weekly or a lot of the dailies, the 4 hourlies we had to accept were anyone's game, really. Anyone's game. So at the moment, looking at Bitcoin bouncing on this 200 simple, it's golden cross retest on the 4 hourly. That's fine, but even better than that on the daily, we're getting a bounce on the 50 exponential. The Chiku span is still above price action after a positive cross on the conversion baseline, which basically means, the Ichimoku Cloud trend signal for Bitcoin, specifically for Bitcoin, is still in play. It'll be cancelled if the Chiku span closes inside the price, which means that you'd have to have a closure tonight below 95,800 and tomorrow a little higher, and so on and so on. So as far as this very moment is concerned, because again, trading, charts, it is just about reflecting on what you see, what has been, and trying to project out what could be. That's all it is. That's all we're doing here. And I'm trying to be as vocal as I can about how nobody really knows, and how I am just a bloke that makes money from pressing buttons on the internet. I am not some kind of fortune teller. You can't ask me the winning lottery numbers or whatever. But I have a higher win rate than loss rate. I do lose, but this move that we've seen today is not a bad move. It's not the worst thing anyone's ever seen in the world. In fact, it's actually not. It's a nothing. It's a nothing, and it's not isolated to Bitcoin. If you zoom right out, you can see that actually Bitcoin, crypto, that's just part of everything that's happened today. The US 500. What happened there? It's a market thing, so it looks to me like it's a buy the rumor, sell the news event after that Trump rally, which has been basically washed out at this point now. Now, it could all come down lower, obviously it can, but for those who are just focused solely on Bitcoin or solely on an altcoin and wondering why it hasn't pumped regardless of its pump signal, trend signal, conversion baseline, golden cross, all these other good things here, the bullish divergence, why did it go down? Well, the entire market went down, that's why. It's not isolated to crypto, it's not isolated to your meme coin, it's not isolated to anything. It's everything. So yeah, there you have it. So it is what it is. Now, am I buying these lows? Well, I don't fancy buying these lows. The reason why is because these aren't lows to me. I've actually bought lower than this, in December and January already. So this isn't actually low to me. Sorry, I was doing that. I was having a private call with somebody. That's right. You can do private calls with me if you want. So looking at Ethereum over here, it's still above a golden cross on exponential and simples. Well, it's exponentials ever so slightly. It's moving into this box of significance. This is the box where I initially had planned for myself while exiting the markets in December. That's right. I told you to exit the markets in December. Well, I didn't tell you to do anything. I told you I was. I told you I'll be putting my limit orders in around these golden crosses, not just for Ethereum, but for all the altcoins that I wanted to buy, which I did, and they bought, and now they're still at higher prices than I bought them for. So I don't really want to buy these. What I was just explaining to somebody just literally an hour ago was, if you haven't bought, then this is an excellent zone to buy from for Ethereum. It is. It's a golden cross. It's the top of an accumulation zone. So you have an area of, currently it's 3,100, basically where we are right now. The low being 2,800, which we haven't seen yet. And this is all a very attractive area. Now, if we did lose that and come into this area, that would be, in my opinion, oversold. Really, really oversold and getting ready for a huge reversal, which you haven't really seen huge moves on Ethereum yet. And I think it is in the post. I think it's going to come. The problem is time. I think this is a lot of the problems people have. I see in the comments. I read the tweets. I see the saltiness. I can taste it, and it's mostly because people want to get rich immediately. We've been downtrending since we exited the market in December. And we've been downtrending ever since. But this is all just actually nothing moves. We entered in around here, didn't we? We got in around here, not just for Ethereum, but for all the altcoins. We saw a nice alt season. We got out around here. I'm not just saying it. If you watch this channel, if you subscribe to the channel, you know that. we talk about it all the time. We talked about it leading into it. We talked about getting ready to sell, and we talked about buying back around the golden crosses. So in, out, in. So yeah, it's a little higher than where I bought it from. So I don't fancy buying this. Might consider buying that, but it's only $200 difference. So really, between $2,800 and $3,000, it's not much difference. When you're buying big chunks of Ethereums, it's not that different at all. It's all about risk to reward. However, if we lost this area and move into the oversold zone, I'd be all right for that, because I'm not particularly hungry to buy any crypto. I'm not hungry at all. I've been fed completely. It's my first meal. It's my starter. Yum yum yum, tasty. Okay, take the plates away. Okay, main course. Okay, I've got the main course. I could perhaps maybe have a couple of poppadoms, a prawn cracker or something. And after 8, I could eat that. I could do that, but it would have to come down here for me to have that little bit on top of my main course. The main course really was filled up around here for the big reversal, which I still very strongly believe is going to happen over the rest of this year. That's right, moving into September. So my analysis remains exactly the same. And so I'm just going to reiterate this once again, because I know most of you understand and recognize it, but I can tell by the comments that some people don't, and that's fine. It's not for me to. I'm not trying to combat trolls here. This isn't what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to put it to you what it is that my analysis is, and it's big swings on weeklies, looking to make the most out of the market with, I suppose, the fewest amount of trades. And this is it. So I got in here back in 2023 for what I considered to be a great opportunity leading into an alt season. Sold around here and then played this little bit. Got out before the peak, allowed the market to consolidate. In fact, I took pretty much the majority of that year off, because I knew that it was going to take a while, and I was saying it's not going to be finding its lows until the end of the summer. The candle body lows were found in September. That is the end of the summer, okay? And we started to turn around from there, and then we got the big breakout, and we were calling it the easy part of the market. So we got this alt season. We also got this alt season. We got out before this giant consolidation. We got out before this consolidation, and we got back in again towards the end of December, and then finally got those Ethereum bids filled on this kind of wick early to mid-January. So the overall sort of expectation of what this market is doing week to week, or should we call it just month to month, it's been pretty much fine, and hundreds of percent. In fact, I'll probably say at this point now, over the last couple of years, thousands of percent just in spot trading has been made. But the biggest amount of money to be made is later on this year, and this still stays exactly the same. It's exactly the same. It hasn't changed at all. I can only be proven wrong when we get to September, and we're at a lower price than any of this right now. And again, I'm not here to be proven right or wrong. I just make money out of this market, and I make these videos as and when, mostly in the morning, but as and when. I just make these videos because I'm just a normal man that makes money out of crypto. My source of income is trading, and I just speak my mind in the morning, make a YouTube channel. No production value whatsoever. I don't even do thumbnails anymore, nothing like that. I just open my mouth, speak my mind. If there's an opportunity, I'll explain it. Otherwise, I'll just say it sideways, or I don't think there's anything going on. It's as simple as that. It's a simple weather forecast. It's like me looking out the window, telling you what I see. It's a cloudy day, I expect rain. It's sunny, it's going to be warm. It's kind of like that, really. That's all I'm doing here. So if I'm right, great. Only me will benefit. If I'm wrong, never mind. Only me will suffer. But yeah, the overall projection is still this idea, which means we have many months to go. We could launch and complete January with a new all-time high for Bitcoin and some of these other things, but we may not. The new all-time highs for me are going to be given to us towards the end of the year, towards the end of the summer actually, is what I expect. Around September, I'm planning to be out, regardless of price, because the risk would likely be way too high at that point. And yeah, I know what's going to happen. Well, I don't know, but this is what I imagine is going to happen. Come August, I'll be saying, all right, that's it, I'm out, I'm getting out, I'm scaling out, you know, I'm 50% in, I'm 40% in now, I'm 30% in, I've only got 20% left, I've got 20% left, and then there'll become a point where I'm like 10% left in, just to get, you know, look to see what the parabolic move looks like. And people say, you have sold, you paper-handed mother. And I'll be like, it was my plan from a couple of years ago. My plan is now complete. I go home, I enjoy the money, I relax, I do whatever it takes to forget about the market. I let the market do what it wants. It can go up, it can go down, it can do anything. I'm not taking part anymore. It's done, it's finished. Right? You can say what you want. All I need to really think about is, you know, this giant windfall that I've made. You know, how many years can I live from that on? You know, and you know, how long is it going to take for this bear market to complete so I can start the whole process once again? So yeah, we've come down. Yeah, on Bitcoin, we've come down on stocks. We've come down even on the Dixie. We've come down across the board. We're coming down. I think it's a buy the rumor, sell the news. The news is being sold. Capitulation from the paper-handed, the true paper-handers. But for me, yeah, I'm not buying this area. There's no need. I've already bought this in December and January. If it comes down lower, I will buy that. Yeah, I'm 70% in at the moment. That means I've got 30% cash left. I could easily put in another 10, like I say, and after 8 to pop it on, just a little extra. But all this area has already been bought by me. I don't really want it. Not the Dixie, but you know what I'm talking about. Right, so that's it. Oh yeah, and just on a side note, someone said you sounded a little down this morning. When I make videos in the morning on a weekday, most of the time my kids are still asleep, right? And I don't want to wake them up. That's the last thing I want. So since January started, my new routine is to get up, go downstairs at the crack of dawn in the middle of the night, exercise while I still have some peace and quiet, and then I make a video. And if my kids are still asleep, you will hear me talking a little softer than I would normally, because I don't want to wake them up. And it's hard to sound enthusiastic at that stage, you know, in the morning. Just generally anyway, but I certainly don't want to be waking them up talking about bloody moving averages. Dad, stop talking about moving averages. He's talking about moving averages. He woke me up talking about moving averages again. Yeah, I try to avoid that situation because there's nothing. That's worse than a crypto crash. A tired, ratty child in the morning is definitely that's not an acceptable outcome. Right, so I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day or evening. Take it easy.